Looking at a messy morning mix moving across the area right now, tracking some snow around Grand Rapids. I'll tell you how that's going to be moving through overnight coming up.
Once he fell, I knew for a fact, it's like he just got shot. It's like, oh my gosh.
Police shoot and kill a man in a local mobile home park. Neighbors and friends of the victim react tonight to the shocking scene that played out right in front of them.
I would love it if every user in my school joined a suicide cult, like one filled with fatties and idiots.
A disturbing look inside the mind of a local teenager tonight. Police say he plotted a school shooting, but his violent plans didn't end there.
Live, local breaking news. You're watching News Channel 3, live at 11.
The changing weather is our top story, and a live look now over downtown Kalamazoo. It is starting to sprinkle, and a good dose of rain is moving in.
Freezing cold air will turn that rain into, you guessed it, snow overnight. Chief Meteorologist Keith Thompson is live in Severe Weather Center 3 to tell us how our morning commute is shaping up. Keith.
Well, Kate and Andy, I think the precipitation that we're tracking right now is going to be moving out before that morning commute starts. However, in its wake, there could be some very slippery roads out there tomorrow morning. So it looks like we're going to have to do this drill one more time before our weather really starts to improve. This is live Doppler radar on our 100-mile scan. We put it into motion here, and you can see that snow line right now starting to dip down into Grand Rapids, and we're starting to see a little bit of light snow. What was rain now turning to snow around Kalamazoo. Same situation going on right now around Cassopolis with some chilly rain right now going on in Sturgis. We get a little bit closer and you see what I'm talking about. This area is going to be filling in with rain changing to snow overnight as this line continues to move off to the south. And like I said, it's going to be moving out before we get to your morning commute tomorrow, but behind will likely be left some wet snow on the roads. Temperatures right now still above freezing. 36 in Kalamazoo, 35 in Battle Creek, Grand Rapids, and also in Allegan. But our temperatures will be chilling overnight. Our overnight fastcast, a messy mix of rain and wet snow. We're going to be hanging out around 34 degrees by 5 o'clock in the morning. Here's the latest on that impact outlook. Overnight, rain, snow, and roads will be impacted with wet snow making for slick roads. Fortunately, not much wind to speak of. Winter weather advisory just went into effect and will be in effect until 8 o'clock tomorrow for most of the area through 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'm going to break this down hour by hour for you and talk about optimism for sunshine tomorrow. That's coming up.
A deadly hail of gunfire in a Kalamazoo area mobile home park today. Tonight, Michigan State Police are launching their own investigation after a man who'd been squatting at Pavilion Estates was killed. News Channel 3's Nikki Zizaza is live at that mobile home park tonight after talking with a friend of the suspect and with neighbors. Nikki.
Andy, police cleared the scene here at about 8:30 this evening, and many of the neighbors we spoke to say they are still on edge following this officer-involved shooting that they say caught them off guard. A crime scene unfolds Wednesday afternoon at the Pavilion Estates mobile home park in Kalamazoo County.
There's always something popping off out here all the time.
This new video shows moments leading up to the shooting of a man Calla Simpson says was always in need of help.
Sometimes he would have seizures, and I would let him come inside, you know, in the wintertime. I would feed him. I gave him a blanket before.
Deputies say they were trying to talk to him about squatting on a property when things took a dangerous turn. And it was from Kelly Minema's front door where she saw the same man provoke police before getting shot.
Once he fell, I knew for a fact, it's like he just got shot. It's like, oh my gosh.
The suspect, who neighbors say they barely knew.
I've always known him as Gino.
Michigan State Police now tasked to investigate the actions taken by officers.
We're conducting the follow-up investigation now. Anytime we have an officer-involved shooting, we bring in one of our groups of detectives from outside the 5th District to make sure that we have an independent view of that investigation.
And neighbors I spoke to say he was a known troublemaker here in this community. And again, Michigan State Police is investigating today's events to determine whether the shooting was justified. For now, I'm live in Kalamazoo County. Nikki Zizaza, News Channel 3.
Disturbing evidence emerges as a judge debates whether a Pawpaw teenager accused of plotting a school shooting will be charged as an adult.
I need to get to work faster as soon as I possibly can. I need to get bombs and guns ready, and I can only imagine myself pulling out an Uzi and mowing down every single toxic waste that happens to have the fortune of being in the same spot as my gun.
Violent and detailed journal entries were read out loud in court today, giving us an alarming look inside the 15-year-old's mind. News Channel 3's Anna Giles is outside the Van Buren County Courthouse in Paw with new information.
Kate, those journal entries were disturbing and hard to listen to. The student describing his desire to kill and bomb making. A detective on this case got emotional in court today, talking about what could have happened if this kid's mom hadn't stepped in. A 15-year-old Paw student pours his plans for a massacre onto paper, providing police, his family, and the public with some answers. Last month, his mother turned him into the Van Buren County Sheriff's Office after she discovered he'd stockpiled explosives and ammunition.
I believe it was 6.5 pages front and back of specific details on making different sorts of bombs.
Deputy Trevor Tate is a school resource officer who knew the student and helped investigate this case. He reads aloud chilling parts of the student's journal.
I would love it if every user in my school joined a suicide cult, like one filled with fatties and idiots.
Drawings and instructions on how to make bombs were found in this notebook. One officer said he'd already carried out some tests.
When did he test the napalm?
Last summer.
Detective Sharon Van Dam interviewed the student about his admitted plans for a mass shooting.
At first he said he was going to go there early, and if someone came in, he would shoot them. Then he talked about maybe waiting until third hour, which is civics.
During questioning, Van Dam became emotional about what could have happened.
I can imagine with all the stuff that he was going to put in his backpack. I can imagine that we would not be sitting here today because, number one, he would have shot other people, he would have killed himself.
She believed the student intended to do harm before he was brought in. His defense said he was bullied, called names, and taunted on social media.
Taking a picture of someone in their underwear and then spreading it around on social media would fall under the definition of social bullying, correct?
Not necessarily, no.
Deputy Tate said he interviewed more than 30 parents and students, and not one mentioned the student had been bullied. This journal also included a hit list and plans for a possible attack at the 4th of July fireworks in South Haven. Again, a judge is still trying to determine whether or not this student should be tried as an adult. The hearing will continue next month. In Van Buren County, Anna Giles, News Channel 3.
Well, News Channel 3 has uncovered new information about Susan Kubitschek, a Portage woman who's charged with murdering her own mother, 87-year-old Dorothy Allen. We broke this story last night, and today we learned that police arrested Kubitschek for intentionally overdosing her mom with painkillers.
She told Sue that she was using the wrong sized syringe, and the fact that what she was giving her mother was 20 times the amount required. Sue stated at that time, quote, "It's her time to go anyways."
A probable cause hearing obtained exclusively by News Channel 3 claims Kubitschek was not only aware she was overdosing her mother, but was proud of it. Allen died the next day. This was almost a full year ago. Blood tests show Allen had around 10 times the acceptable amount of therapeutic morphine in her system. Her son says he questions his sister's motivation.
She did something she shouldn't have done, but she let people know what she was doing. Did she do it out of compassion? I don't think she was ready to go. There was just nothing more she could do but just lay there in bed.
Kubitschek is in the Kalamazoo County Jail without bond. She'll be back in court next week.
State lawmakers are trying to close a gun loophole blamed for a Lansing area murder. Police say that Timothy Olin killed his ex-girlfriend, Rachel Duncan, and then himself at a Joann fabric store last month. And Duncan had filed a restraining order against Olin just a few days prior. Olin had tried to buy a gun after that, but was denied because of that restraining order. However, Olin was allowed to rent a gun at a shooting range because background checks for that are not required.
He walked out the back door with a weapon, murdered his former girlfriend, and then took his own life. Basically, you go to a gun range, you rent a gun, you use it. I'm sure most ranges watch you to make sure you don't walk off with it. But there's going to be times when people walk off with guns, and that's got to be stopped.
A proposed bill would now require a concealed pistol license and background checks even to rent guns at shooting ranges. It would also require that gun sellers tell police if someone tries to buy a gun and failed a federal background check. And we'll keep an eye on this bill and keep you updated with its progress in Lansing. A convicted killer's pleas for mercy go unheard by an Ohio judge and jury.
The court orders that James D. Worley is hereby sentenced to death for the aggravated murder of Sierra Jogman.
James Worley will be executed for kidnapping and killing 20-year-old Sierra Jogman almost 2 years ago in Toledo. The University of Toledo student disappeared after parting ways with her boyfriend on a bike ride. Worley's execution date is scheduled for June of next year.
A Battle Creek mother says her teenage son was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Now she wants someone to pay for killing the boy she says held her family together.
Marcus is my captain. You know, he'd be like, get into bed, you know. He even already had dinner cooked. He already got food cooked and everybody playing that game.
17-year-old Marcus Flanagan was shot in the head near Cherry and Merritt on Battle Creek's north side last weekend. The teenager died in the hospital yesterday. Flanagan's murder is now the second open homicide case being investigated by Battle Creek police. 22-year-old Joseph Bowser was shot and killed March 23rd.
Parents like me and Joe Bowser parents, you know, that we got to just keep burying our sons and our daughters for you know, violence. And I think it's really a shame. I just hope I make it. I don't know what I'm going to do without him.
Flanagan's mother says her son was trying to help a friend when he was shot. A 15-year-old was also hurt in that shooting. He is expected to survive. The family has started a GoFundMe page. We've linked that on our website, WWMT.com.
Well, coming up, a pregnant mother is shot by her own 3-year-old daughter. How police say that little girl got her hands on the gun. Welcome back to News Channel 3 Live at 11. I'm Andy Dominiani.
And I'm Kate Tillotson. Olympic gold medalist and Michigan native Jordan Weber takes her fight for athletes' safety to Capitol Hill.
Just knowing what happened is the first step to figuring out how it happened and holding the right people accountable.
Weber is one of hundreds of athletes who say former Team USA and MSU doctor Larry Nassar sexually abused them, disguising it as legitimate medical treatment. Many of Nassar's accusers say his boss's actions at MSU allowed him to sexually abuse women and young girls for decades. Today, Michigan Senator Gary Peters asked Weber about MSU's response.
There's been so many instances where survivors will go to the board meetings and try to encourage them to listen, and they've just been turned away and not listened to and denied and offered settlements and just ridiculous things like that. I think they're still refusing to admit what the problem really is and that they're accountable for it.
Weber is personally suing USA Olympic Organization and Michigan State University. Senators plan to hold another hearing to get testimony from both of those organizations.
The Federal Aviation Administration is looking to order inspections now on engine fan blades like the one involved in a deadly Southwest Airlines explosion. Federal investigators say they found a crack in the interior of the engine that blew mid-flight yesterday. They say that crack led to an explosion that shot debris into the plane, killing a passenger. But at this point, they don't believe it points to a larger issue or a reason to ground other flights. Police say that a 3-year-old girl got her hands on a gun and then accidentally shot her pregnant mother.
We just heard screaming. We ran outside with a bunch of other people. Someone said someone was hurt and bleeding.
Authorities in Merrillville, Indiana, outside of Gary, say Shaniqua Thomas was sitting in the car with her kids while her boyfriend shot. This 3-year-old girl found her father's gun in the car and pulled the trigger. hitting her mom in the back. She is now in critical condition. Her boyfriend is in custody and could face child endangerment charges.
President Trump said today that he is hopeful the Russia investigation will end soon. In fact, Pittsburgh police are bracing for the possibility that special counsel Robert Mueller could be fired. Department emails show detectives being told to carry riot gear with them at all times starting tomorrow. Police say this is in anticipation of large protests should President Trump decide to fire Mueller.
Well, the weather is turning a bit nasty yet again for us here in West Michigan, but the good news is I think this is the last shot from Old Man Winter, at least for the rest of this month anyway, and then it's May, and so it does get a little less likely, right? Winter weather advisory just went into effect 18 minutes ago and will be in effect through 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and you can see the counties shaded much of West Michigan included in this winter weather advisory. Let's go hour by hour. We're starting at the current hour here. Still some light rain around Kalamazoo, Battle Creek. Southward here, it's rain. Right around Allegan, and I'd say Gun Lake, that's where we sort of have that zone where it's a little bit of both, a little bit of rain, a little bit of snow, mainly some snow now in Holland and Grand Rapids and also in Hastings. We run this forward and you see that snow line starting to push off to the south, significantly so by about 4:15 in the morning, starting to clear much of the area. Still some snow around Three Rivers, Coldwater, and Sturgis, but by about 6:15 in the morning, the snow is long gone, at least that coming from the sky. Of course, the problem is that we will still likely have some on the roads. And with temperatures right at about freezing for the morning commute, that could mean some slippery driving conditions. Keep that in mind. In the meantime, our Thursday fastcast not looking too bad. Clouds are going to be clearing with temperatures warming. By afternoon, we're going to be up at 46 degrees. Yeah, that's about 15 degrees shy of what's typical for this time of year, but it is warmer than what we've had lately, and that will be coming again with lots of sunshine. Now, right now on live Doppler radar, we're picking up a little of the snow around Grand Rapids and Holland. And just in the last hour or so, we're watching this area of snow around Kalamazoo and also Battle Creek. A little bit of light stuff here developing along I-94. It has been snowing to beat the band over the other side of the lake there, around Milwaukee, for example, in Madison, Wisconsin. Look at all these snow reports coming in here, courtesy of the National Weather Service office. Here's one of them, Waukesha there on the outskirts of Milwaukee with 4 inches of snow. That was at 7:36. I just checked the weather report there in Waukesha. They're up to 6 inches of snow. That's just today. So, hey, at least for us here in West Michigan, it's not that heavy. Right now, Kalamazoo, a little bit of light rain and 36 degrees, a north-northeast breeze at about 6. Temperatures area-wide were in the mid-30s. We're going to keep an eye on these temps because, of course, as they get closer to freezing, we're going to have more of a problem with some slippery spots. With that wet snow overnight, some slick roads, 30 degrees for your morning low. And then tomorrow, skies become mostly sunny, a little warmer, with a high of 46 degrees. Our temps continue to step up with sunshine. 52 on Friday, 55 on Saturday. It's going to feel like spring here over the weekend, especially early next week when we're going to make it up into the 60s. It's been a long time coming. Get this, we have had more days in April with high temperatures in the 30s than we had in March.
Oh.
Are you serious?
That's backwards.
Like we're going backwards.
That's backwards.
In time.
Yeah. Regressing.
We are.
I think we're ready to progress.
Yes.
Forward into spring. Keith, thanks.
All right, well, state-of-the-art concussion research is happening, and right here in West Michigan, we'll tell you how scientists say their work on helmets could stretch beyond the football field. Welcome back. New football helmet technology developed at Western Michigan University is tackling problems with brain injuries.
A grad student started the research back in 2014 when football-related concussions gained national attention. Well, that has turned into a helmet shell hooked up with sensors that collect data on a hit's location, intensity, and the direction the force travels.
But scientists say it isn't just the big hits or the immediate damage that they're worried about.
Also more important are the small and repeated impacts that happen and the players don't even know about it. So in a long term, say 20 years, 30 years, that's when they start to see the effects.
Researchers say they hope the data will help doctors treat head injuries more effectively, but say it could also help police and the military analyze information from explosions. The helmet could be ready for the market in just a few years.
Miguel Cabrera celebrating his birthday with a home run today at Comerica. Andy Pepper has highlights of this afternoon's walk-off win over the O's next in sports.
The Western Michigan Broncos' season-high 9-game homestand has been reduced to, at best, a 5-game homestand, thanks to what has just been a miserable stretch of weather here in southern Canada. I mean Michigan. 4 of Western's first 5 games canceled due to either rain, snow, sleet, or unplayable field conditions. Ugh. The good news, take a look. Western finally back on the field this afternoon against Michigan State. Bottom one, the big guy, Nate Grice, RBI single to left. Connor Smith, come on down. And we are all tied up after 1. Bottom 3 now. Good guys, trailing by 4. Jimmy Roche going to cut into that deficit. And RBI double into the gap. Jesse Forstel, come on down. And we got ourselves a 5-2 ball game. And about to get a wee bit closer because your very next batter, again, Nate Grice, just crushed a left. 2-run homer, his 5th of the season. That would make it a 5-4 ball game. And later in the 3rd, former Portage Northern standout Andrew Stone, RBI single to center. Drew Devine going to race home. We're tied at 5, but MSU holding off the Broncos in what was an absolute slugfest, 10-7, that final. To Comerica we go. Tigers with a midweek matinee against the Orioles. Bottom 6, happy birthday, Miguel Cabrera. 35 candles on the cake. Miggy 2 for 4 today, a double, and his 2nd home run of the season, average up to 255. Tigers up 2-1. 8th inning, Tigers trailing by a deuce, but John Hicks down the line and left, and Hicksy, go ahead, 3-run jack. 5-4 Tigers, first home run of the season for Hicks. Top 9, row, Shane Green unable to close it out. Luis Sardinas with the pinch hit homer. We're knotted up at 5, but here's your happy ending. Bottom 9, Dixon Machado. Just his 2nd career home run, the 4th Tigers long ball of the day. That'll do it, folks. Detroit, a walk-off winner, 6-5, your final at Comerica.
Great, we fight until the end, we never give up, and that's what happened when you never give up.
Tell me about the at-bat. What were you looking for? What'd you hit?
I was looking for a foul, he threw it there, and I got it good.
That probably felt great on such a balmy day in Detroit. Right. MIAA action, K College right-hander Ryan Orr throwing his second career no-hitter in today's 7-0 Game 1 win over Albion. Orr, the first pitcher in school history to throw multiple no-nos. The Hornets also taking the nightcap, 17-9. Stick around. One final look at your weather is next.
Messy mix of some rain and wet snow overnight could leave some slippery roads tomorrow morning. So be careful on your commute. Otherwise, we'll see sunshine tomorrow with a high of 46. We shouldn't be so happy about that with an average of 61.
Yeah, that's below average.
It gives you an idea of where we've been lately, right? It's going to be getting warmer later in the week.
Fingers crossed this overnight snow is one and done.
Yeah.
The last one.
Hope so.